Done is not D-O-N-E. Done is D-U-N. Done. What does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
To do things intentionally that's different, uncomfortable, and new.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day, I am done with people, places, and things. Meaning, I do something different, uncomfortable, and new every single day. Even being on your show today is something different, uncomfortable, and new for me.
This episode is sponsored by TherapyNotes, therapynotes.com. Be sure and check them out, and be sure and use the promo code Gordon, Gordon, and you can try them out for 2 months for free. For the past 20 plus years, I've been working in the mental health field as a licensed therapist, private practice owner, coach, and consultant. And I've learned a lot the hard way, and I don't think you need to do the same. Hi there, I'm Gordon Brewer, and welcome to the Practice of Therapy podcast, part of the Psychcraft network of podcasts. Whether you're just starting out, expanding your practice, or looking for fresh inspiration, this podcast is here to support you in your journey. Each week, we explore the real-world challenges and opportunities that come with building and growing your private practice. From marketing and money management to ethics, client care, and self-care, we cover it all. You'll hear from leading experts, seasoned clinicians, and innovative voices in the mental health and allied health fields, all sharing their insights and strategies to help you thrive in your practice. So let's jump in and get to today's episode of the Practice of Therapy podcast. Everyone, and welcome to the podcast. This is episode number 407 of the Practice of Therapy podcast. I'm Gordon Brewer, and so glad you've joined us, and hope you will come back for more. And also do take time to follow or subscribe to the podcast wherever you might be listening to it. So I'm really excited for you to get to hear from our guest today. I've met a new friend, Dr. Jason Branch, and let me tell you, this guy is one of the most enthusiastic and just approachable people you'll ever meet. And we really get into talking about imposter syndrome and some of the things that he's come up with in ways to think about it differently and, move forward with wherever you are in life. Jason is a licensed professional counselor and licensed in several states, and you're just going to enjoy this interview. I know that I did just once we got to know each other and really got into our conversation. But before we get to that, one of the things I'd love for you to do is go over to practiceoftherapy.com, and if you'll click on that button that just says coaching and consulting, and I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to work with you one-on-one and doing some consulting and coaching in your practice, wherever you might be with that. And you can find out more about that by just clicking on that particular link on the website. And also, another thing I wanted to remind folks of is my good friend Julie Harris has come up with a workbook that coincides with her book, Profit First for Therapists. And Julie has done a great job of putting together one of the best workbooks I've ever seen and just around this topic and helping walk you through the process of getting Profit First implemented in your practice. So go over to practiceoftherapy.com/Profit First Workbook. practiceoftherapy.com/Profit First Workbook, and that will get you to the place where you can take a look at that. And I hope that you'll get it, because I know Julie sent me a copy of it, and it is absolutely phenomenal and just packed full of just some great resources. So be sure and check that out. And also, before we get to my conversation with Jason, I'd love for you to hear more about the Psychcraft Network, along with some words from our sponsor, TherapyNotes. Hey there.
Are you searching for answers and clarity on your mental health journey? Well, I've got the podcast just for you. Welcome to Finding Your Way Through Therapy, a podcast that's like having a heartfelt conversation with a trusted friend and who understands what you're going through. I'm your host, Steve Biesel, a therapist and proud member of the PsychCraft Network. Finding Your Way Through Therapy is a safe space where we openly explore the emotional complexities of mental health. From busting common myths to sharing actionable advice, we'll navigate this journey together through solo episodes as well as special guests. Discover your inner strength, resilience, and hope as we explore topics like self-care, building healthy relationships, cognitive behavioral therapy, and overcoming challenges. You'll come away with a renewed sense of self and the tools to create a life filled with fulfillment and well-being. So join me on Finding Your Way Through Therapy as we become your companion on this deeply personal journey. I am part of the PsychCraft Network and truly enjoy all the episodes. And back to your regular scheduled programming.
Hi, this is Rachel, Gordon's podcast assistant, and I want to share the platform Gordon trusts for his own practice, TherapyNotes. TherapyNotes is the highest rated EHR, practice management, and billing software for mental health professionals. It's an all-in-one system for scheduling, notes, billing, and secure client communication. And if you ever need help, their 24/7 customer service is always just a call or email away. Their latest update, Therapy Fuel, uses AI to streamline documentation, generating progress notes, creating contact notes from client messages, and even summarizing client history forms, saving therapists hours every week. Are you ready to give it a try? Head to therapynotes.com, click Start My Free Trial, and use the code GORDON to get your first 2 months free. See why TherapyNotes is the most trusted EHR and the one Gordon chooses for his practice. Please enjoy the rest of the show.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome again to the podcast. And I'm really excited for you all to get to know today Dr. Jason Branch. And you're in for a treat, and just a tiny bit I've learned about him so far. But Jason, tell folks a little more about yourself and how you've landed where you've landed.
Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for the opportunity. Hello to the listeners, to the viewers, to the audience. I'm excited. You know, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm on 12. Okay. I just need y'all to know who y'all
That's good. That's good. That's good.
So who am I and how did I get here? So I'm a licensed professional counselor. I'm a counselor educator. I'm a podcast host. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm just out here living my best life, figuring it out as I go, because I recognize that's what we're all doing, figuring it out as we go. So as a business owner, entrepreneur, I'm learning. I'm constantly learning as a professor, as a clinician, as a supervisor, as a father, as a husband. All of these areas, all these hats I'm wearing, I'm learning constantly and consistently. So I have over 20 years in the profession. I have 13 years in teaching. I have 15 years in private practice, and I have 40 plus years of life. So I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. And if I haven't experienced it, I know somebody who has. So just this insight about us, about people, about experiences and exposure, that's kind of given me a lens that I share from. And I love analogies. So I use a lot of analogies in the things that I talk about. And today I want to talk about entrepreneurship from a perspective of the 3 parallels. And those 3 parallels is who we were, who we are, who we're becoming. And I look at that in all aspects of life.
Right. Yeah. And just looking over your materials, I think like you said, we all have life experiences. I certainly have had mine, and I think it shapes who we are. And I think, one thing in particular, I know we chatted just briefly about at the beginning before we started recording, is just how it's so easy to get caught up in imposter syndrome. And true confession, I keep doing it still. Even though I've been in the business and been in the this arena for quite a while. But yeah, so what have you learned about that, Jason?
Oh man. I hope we got enough time. I hope we got enough time. So what I've learned about it, So for those who aren't aware, imposter syndrome can be defined as this belief that I don't belong. I'm not enough. I'm going to get found out. I'm not supposed to be here. It was happenstance, it was luck. It was all these beliefs that we have about ourselves that diminish where we currently are. And to me, what I discovered is imposter syndrome is a real thing, and it's in our mind. It's in our head. So Gordon, even for you, knowing, different ways of being in imposter syndrome, it comes up at different times. And to me, usually it comes up in the times when I'm most uncomfortable. That's when it pops up. If I'm in a room with people who I feel as though may have more insight, expertise, you name it, I may feel intimidated. Environments that I am in where it's something new, different, uncomfortable that I don't know how to do, I go right into that space, into that place of imposter syndrome. And to me, the best way I can describe that is anytime we do something different, new, or uncomfortable, it requires vulnerability, because that's what's going to happen. Imposter syndrome is vulnerability, but it's vulnerability that I'm not accepting. So in order to overcome imposter syndrome, I have to accept it, meaning what am I supposed to learn at this time? Because I'm not an imposter. I just don't know certain things yet. So I'm not going to diminish me for not knowing something. And the best way I can describe us when we get into imposter syndrome is we're like salamanders. So for the listeners, it's like a salamander. How do you go from imposter syndrome to salamander? I'm glad you asked. So for me, a salamander is someone who's soft, squishy, vulnerable. Everything sticks. They're penetrable. They work home. They go to work extra early. They stay extra late. They can't say no. They have a hard time saying no. They're horrible with self-care. They love wearing the cape. I want to save everybody named mama, even though you can't, you believe you can. So this is what a salamander looks like. It's vulnerability at its finest, like a turtle that's leaving its shell. We out here naked and afraid, and I ain't talking about the TV show. That's vulnerability at its finest. However, it's okay when I'm a student, but it's not okay when I'm a professional, which means we can wear any hat that we choose. So even as a professional, even as an entrepreneur, business owner, I'm still learning, which means I'm still a student. So how am I an imposter? And one way that I want to challenge the listeners on overcoming imposter syndrome is to stick to the facts. How am I an imposter if I'm here? How am I an imposter if I'm in the room? How am I an imposter if I'm in the room with these other people that I'm intimidated by? They're probably intimidated by me, I'm sure, because I'm a gator. It's the difference. It's the difference. Yeah. So to break down this analogy with the salamander, there are four P's of salamander life. I'll keep it brief with two. The biggest P of being a salamander is perfectionism. It's the biggest P, because all of us as human beings, we strive for perfection. It makes no sense, but it makes all the sense in the world.
Right. All right.
So this idea of I have to do it right, I have to do it right the first time, although I've never done it. That's perfectionism at its finest. The second P is patience, meaning I have none. I have none. I don't got time to learn. I need to know this now. Why don't I have it yet? Why isn't this happen or that happen? Or when is this going to happen? Or this is never going to happen. That's a salamander all day. Just squishy, just out here like a marshmallow. Okay. I need us to armor up. And how you armor up to get over imposter syndrome, to work through it, to work through perfectionism, to work through your lack of patience, is to become a gator. Now, a gator is very different. As you know, a gator has scales. Those scales are healthy boundaries and protection. The scales come from who we are from birth to where we are right now, meaning our lived experiences. All the things that we went through, good, bad, ugly, everything else in between, provides scales of protection for us as a gator. Now, this gator is protected with armor. However, there is a soft white underbelly. That's that vulnerability. However, you only have access to that when I allow you to have access. Come on, healthy boundaries. And one way to get to the heart of a gator and get to that vulnerability is to get them on their back. Ooh, that's for somebody. That's for somebody.
Right.
If you want anything from anybody, get them on their back.
Right. Yeah.
Let's go, Gordon. Let's go,
Yeah. I love that analogy. I love that metaphor. Yeah.
So now let's go further. I got to, man. You brought me here. I can't help myself. I told y'all from the beginning who y'all got. So with the gator, I'm going to get three C's of gator life. So we got 2 P's of salamander life. We got 3 C's of gator life. If you want to overcome imposter syndrome, you want to really dive into you, become a gator. And what's a gator? Someone who's consistent. They just keep showing up. and they keep showing up doing the best they can with what they have. That's it. Because that's human. That's all of us. I come from a humanistic perspective,
Yeah.
so that's what I always go back to. Because with humanism is also vulnerability. That's a superpower that we have, that we hide. Ooh, I just want to talk about it. So that's the first C, consistency. The second C is curiosity. I'm curious. I want to know more. I want to learn more. I don't know everything. There's so much I don't know. Teach me, show me. However, when we move up, when it comes to education or credentials, certification, or even finances, we believe we're not supposed to learn anymore. We don't say it, but that's what our actions say. So for many of us, I'm not seeking CEs unless I'm up for renewal. So I'm not looking for education or training unless it's connected to something. That's a salamander. A gator, I'm constantly willing and open to learn. And I'm learning by being curious. The third C that I love about a gator that salamanders do not do at all is celebrate. When was the last time you celebrated? More than likely, it was a wedding, anniversary, promotion, you get a raise, a bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, whatever it is you got going. This is when we celebrate, which is on occasions. Birthday, that's once a year. For a gator, we celebrate every day.
Right.
I celebrate every day. It's 8 o'clock in the morning over here. I'm on fire, Gordon.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm celebrating life. I can't believe I get to do this every day. I can't believe I get to help people and teach and learn and get back. I cannot believe it. And now I'm on your show giving me away. I love the fact that I'm able to do this because no one's ever heard about the gator and salamander because it didn't exist before me. If it did, I didn't meet them. I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
But we're hearing it now. And that creativity, we all have it, but we don't tap into it. And we don't tap into it because of rules, systems, beliefs, culture, community, you name it. And what I'm doing in my life is shedding these beliefs and ideas that don't serve me anymore. And there's so many that we hold on to that doesn't serve us. So how do I begin the process of getting rid of them? And one way for me is being done. And when I say done, life allows you to be done with people, places, and things. And then we can decide as individuals to be done with people, places, and things. Done is not D.O.N.E. Done is D.U.N. Done. What does that mean? To do things intentionally that's different, uncomfortable, and new. Every single day, I am done with people, places, and things. Meaning I do something different, uncomfortable, and new every single day. Even being on your show today is something different, uncomfortable, and new for me. But I'm still me. This experience is new and different, which means I can be vulnerable and feel like an imposter, but I'm not based on the facts.
Right.
Whew. I'm sorry, Gordon.
This is great.
You guys,
This is great. This is great stuff. You know, a few thoughts that I'd love to add to this. And one thing, you know, in some of the work that I've done, you know, just consulting and teaching, much like you, I mean, we've got a lot of parallels to what we both do in different ways. But, you know, one of the things that I tell people, particularly when they're starting out in this field, is don't compare your starting point to somebody else's middle point.
Yes.
And the other thing too is that even though I might be at a middle point, it is also a starting point for me, just like you're talking about every single day.
Absolutely.
And so my starting point might be your middle point and vice versa.
Exactly.
And so really being able to do that. And I think the other thing too that you said, Jason, that just I think just has always resonated with me is the consistency piece. Just to keep going, being, as I like to say, be persistent and consistent with what you do. And that will get you there. It will never be perfect. None of us is perfect. None of us will ever get there, but it's what moves us forward. It's what moves us forward. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, I love what you're saying. And I want to add to that, the consistency and the patience. By being consistent, by being patient, you will get everything you're supposed to have. And for many of us that's struggling, why hasn't it happened yet? It hasn't happened yet. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And it doesn't happen on our time. You know, if you think about all the accomplishments that we have, all the things that we've done, it wasn't on our time. We had our own agenda, and life had its agenda too.
Right.
So it's being okay in the gray. Being
Yeah.
okay in the gray. And the gray is in between that black and white. And that black and white
Right.
is either right or wrong, perfectionism
Right.
all day long.
Right. Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
So I'm curious. I'm gonna roll you on your back a little bit here.
Let's go. I'm here for it, baby.
So one of the things that I'm guessing for you, particularly as a person of color, there were times in your life when you just felt totally like an imposter and being thrown into situations where, you stood out as being different, all of those kinds of things. And I know from the snooping I did on your website, one of the things that you do, which I think is absolutely phenomenal, is working with men of color probably around all of these issues of really overcoming that and overcoming all of those things. So say more about that.
Oh man, this is a whole show. We might need another episode. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So number one, I appreciate the acknowledgement of my blackness because I am a black male. I do identify as a black male, and I'm a black male therapist who has a therapist. I'm like a unicorn, y'all, but I'm black with a gold horn. So we got to call it what it is. So
yeah, right.
Throughout my life and even currently, I still deal with life in the United States as a black man. So it doesn't, for some people, it doesn't matter that I have a PhD. It doesn't matter if I have a suit or tie on. For some people, they can't see beyond my appearance because they can't see beyond my skin color. Right. So for some people, I'm a mythical creature, like a unicorn. So if I'm at the university or I'm in classrooms or leaving classrooms, my students know me or about me, but nobody else knows. So I could leave the classroom and somebody could assume that I'm somebody I'm not. And more often than not, that happens.
Yes.
Meaning, what are you doing here? Or are you here to pick up the trash? Or are you here to, are you a student? It's never at the top and then work our way down. It's always I'm down and then we're going to work our way up. So that's my lived experience every day. So one of the moments, and I'm glad you asked the question, one of the moments that I'm so familiar with of this imposter syndrome or feeling like I don't belong, in most of my programs, and this is for a lot of black men in the helping profession, from my master's to my PhD, it was the exact same. I was the only one. I was one of one, meaning the only black male from classes before me and after me. And majority of my programs were mainly white women in this profession, helping profession, mainly white women, but not just white women, it's white people. So if you go to any conference, counseling conference, more often than that, it looks like a bowl of mashed potatoes with a few specks of black pepper.
I love that.
It's white. It's white. And that's okay. That's what it is. That's the history of it. And it's changing. But being in those spaces, you don't see other people that look like you, you begin to emulate or assimilate to the environment. Do y'all know how hard it is as a black man to try to be a white woman? It's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And I failed at it miserably because I'm not. I'm not. But if I don't see anybody that looks like me, and the only people that I see are white women, then I assume I need to be them. And early in my career, that's my idea of how I'm navigating. And that was horrible. So once I recognized that this doesn't work for me, I had to live life based off of my truth. I'm a black man in a counseling program, in a counseling profession. I know how unique I am. So let me just show my uniqueness by just being me. And when I started to give myself permission to be me authentically, my life changed. So I look at parallels, 3 parallels to be exact, who we were, who we are, who we're becoming. That's a constant experience from birth till death.
Yes.
So I can think back when I was a doc student and feeling insecure and I'm not enough and imposter syndrome, and then getting beyond that of I do belong. I am supposed to be here. But what am I supposed to be doing? Then to get to the future version of me who I'm becoming or have I've become and I'm still growing is I do belong. I'm supposed to be here. I have facts. I have evidence. I am him. And that's who I am now. But that required a lot of work. And one of the proudest moments for me related to work is to be a student working towards becoming a therapist who've never experienced therapy before. And it wasn't until my second year in a master's program where I was encouraged, hey, y'all need to experience therapy for yourself in order to do this work. And I'm like, okay, let me go try therapy. And I scheduled an appointment at the Health and Wellness Center, schedule it, canceled. Scheduled again, canceled again. Scheduled a third time, and I finally went. And when I went, I'm on campus going to the Wellness Center, looking around me to see who sees me going into this building to see a therapist.
Yes.
So even when I get there to sign my name, I put Clark Kent because I'm Superman in real life. I put Clark Kent instead of my real name. And I had a Black woman therapist for the first time having therapy. And I go in and sit down and start talking. I felt like I was talking to Oprah. And I gave this woman everything, not knowing how much I was carrying just being a Black male in America, being on campus, being in this space.
Right.
And that changed everything for me because if the barriers and stigma around mental health and counseling is that in depth for Black people, specifically Black men, then I can't imagine how this is for everybody else who's not even in these spaces and places. So I was still plagued by the stereotype of counseling and mental health. And that's when I knew I'm going to dedicate my career, my life to this because it makes sense to me.
Yes. Yes. Oh, Jason, thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing that, because that's and I think that's, as we know, being in this field, I've been in it almost 30 plus years now. It's real easy to put up that shell, just like you said, see the hard, scaly side, which we need. We need that. Yes. We need that protection. We need to have those boundaries. I like the way you framed it in terms of boundaries rather than protection. Although it serves both, but I think of it as a boundary because you have control of that.
Yes.
But the only way we grow is by getting vulnerable and getting uncomfortable. And it's
absolutely.
It's just like when you first learned to ride a bicycle, it was scary. You couldn't, it didn't feel right, but that was the only way you're going to learn is to be scary and getting yourself in there. So,
absolutely. So, and I want to share some evidence, a fact now, as I mentioned before, in order to get to the heart, get to that vulnerability for a gator, you got to get him on my back. And Gordon, you were able to get me on my back by being curious. Yes. By opening the door and asking the question, not assuming, not putting your beliefs or thoughts or perception on me, but opening the door for conversation. And that's a skill set, Gordon. Yeah. Everybody doesn't have that, man. And I appreciate and I value you having that because you can get anything from me now. You can have me on my back. So you
right.
That's for any of us as human beings, when we know somebody is curious and they care. That's what changes everything. Yes. Because a lot of us aren't curious and a lot of us don't care.
Yes.
And part of that is because I don't have to. I don't have to care about anybody. I choose to. And especially being in this profession, like there's my belief. This is my belief. A lot of people in the helping profession, we got into this profession because somebody helped us or they didn't. That's it. Somebody helped us or they didn't. So being here, especially 30 years in the game, plus 20 years for me, this 50 years we have on this podcast right now. And that's a beautiful thing. And that's wisdom from experience. So this conversation alone, to me, can change the perspective of a lot of people because it gives insight related to vulnerability and going behind the curtain of what's really going on and what's it really like. What's the lived experience? And more often than not, for many of us, we don't get a chance to share. We don't get a chance to talk about it, and people don't ask. They assume.
Right.
And Gordon, my hat goes off to you, man, for the questions, for the opening, for hey, let's come in, let's connect together and talk about some things that we usually don't talk about. So I appreciate you. I appreciate the platform. It means the world to me, and for people to hear this and not know what it's like, because many people are in these programs that see one of one, and it's just like, oh, they doing just like everybody else. Nah, it's several other layers that a lot of people aren't aware of.
Right. Yes. Well, Jason, I've got to be respectful of your time, and I know we could spend all day talking about every bit of this. And I'm so grateful for you to be on the podcast. Okay, so tell folks about your podcast and where they can find it, and also how they can be in touch and other things that you offer.
Absolutely. So I am a licensed professional counselor. I am seeing new clients. I do wellness coaching as well. I do retreats. I do consultation. I do pretty much everything. So whatever you need, I got you. Best way to get in contact with me is www.drjbranch.com. And my podcast is called the 3 Parallels Podcast, where we rediscover who we were, embrace who we are, and make room for who we're trying to become. This is found on Spotify, YouTube, all your favorite streaming platforms. And I'm just here to give you all me. So typically I have a guest on Sunday. On Wednesday, it's just me talking to give people insight and to overcome perfectionism, imposter syndrome, for us to just be who we are. It's okay who you are and where you are. You belong. How do I know? Look at the evidence.
Right.
Don't trust me. Trust the facts.
Right. I love that. Yeah. Look at and it's, I think, and just working with, not to get too far off on a tangent again, but, and just working with other therapists and that sort of thing, it takes a lot to get through college, to get through an advanced degree, and stuff, and give yourself credit for the stuff that you know and the persistence that you did to get through all of that. And yeah, absolutely.
Gordon, thank you, man. Thank you. I would love to come back whenever you have. Yes.
And we'll do that. And so we'll have links in the show notes and the show summary for everyone. And definitely we'll be having another conversation with Dr. Jason Branch. Thanks, Jason.
Absolutely. Have a great one.
Well, again, a big thanks to Dr. Jason Branch for being on the show. I really enjoyed my conversation with him, and I'm sure after listening to this episode, you really picked up on his energy and his enthusiasm with everything. He's such a great guy, and I hope to have him back on again before too long. And also, be sure and check out his podcast, and you'll find links here in the show notes and the show summary for his podcast, the 3 Parallels Podcast. And again, you'll find links here in the show notes and the show summary to get to that easily. Also, big thanks to our sponsor of the podcast, TherapyNotes. They are the leading electronic health record system for mental health providers. They're who I use in my practice and absolutely couldn't work without them. They are an all-in-one platform where you can do scheduling, billing. You can also has a new Therapy Fuel AI feature that helps you write your notes quickly. It's really a big game changer. So be sure and check them out. You can go to practiceoftherapy.com/therapynotes. And if you'll use the promo code just Gordon, Gordon, you can try them out for 2 months for free. And I think you're going to like them when you try them out. So be sure and do that. And folks, come back again. We've got a lot of other great guests lined up. And do take time to follow us or subscribe to the podcast wherever you might be listening to it. So we'll be back with you next week for another episode of the Practice of Therapy podcast. You have been listening to the Practice of Therapy podcast with Gordon Brewer, part of the Psychcraft network of podcasts. Please visit us at practiceoftherapy.com for more information, resources, and tools to help you in starting, building, and growing your private practice. And if you haven't done so already, please sign up to receive the free Private Practice Startup Guide at practiceoftherapy.com. And to find more great podcasts like this one, please visit the Psychcraft Network at psychcraftnetwork.com. The information in this podcast is intended to be accurate and authoritative concerning the subject matter covered. It is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, or producers are rendering legal, accounting, or clinical advice. And if you need help in these areas, be sure to find the right professional to help you with these things.
Today, we'll attempt a feat once thought impossible, overcoming high-interest credit card debt. It requires merely one thing, a SoFi personal loan. With it, you could save big on interest charges by consolidating into one low fixed-rate monthly payment. Defy high-interest debt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/stunt to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.